that the contract may be expiring.
How did you arrive at February 1st?
It's in the contracts. And then there's several deadlines in there.
So we have a meeting on January 28th?
We would have a meeting on January 28th. We can also hold a special meeting if we wanted to as well. But we are going to have a special meeting Friday night for evaluation purposes.
So there is the possibility that the board can have an anticipated litigation session with legal counsel, and this item can be placed on the agenda either at a special meeting or on January 28th.
Yes, and again, if we put this back in closed session, we have not corrected the action. And so when you do not correct an action, you are risking additional cure and correct demands coming forward, or additional action taken by the two complainants. That's what I'm trying to tell you by tabling this. Tabling this means you did not take action to cure and correct.
Mrs. Brown has strongly recommended that we have another closed session under the topic of anticipated litigation. So I believe that there are more pitfalls than you are describing.
Well, and that's absolutely board members' rights to come up with your own conclusions, absolutely. I'm sharing with you my knowledge base around this and my perspective on how simple this is to simply correct it and move on. And that's what I have recommended from the beginning, is I myself would like to have this resolved and move on. And we've speculated about varying outcomes from this, and that isn't really what the discussion is. The discussion really tonight was around, do we want to cure and correct? And do it tonight, and do it in a way that eliminates any further action by community members. And that's what the cure and correct was tonight. So what we can do at this point, because we'll be going around in circles and extending our meeting shortly, is we'll go backwards on the motions and we will take some votes. Okay? Is that reasonable with the board?
As long as there's the understanding that if the table motion passes, we are not voting on the other motions.
Absolutely. We have now taken no action to correct. So I want to make sure the board understands you are not taking action to correct. And the demand is to take action to correct. And again, it's not about guilt.
Well, we're not taking action to correct tonight. It doesn't mean we never could correct. Maybe we will on the 28th. Maybe we'll find when we go to closed session that that's exactly what we should do. But we're just not doing it tonight. So I don't think we can say
we are not taking action tonight.
I mean, but we're not closing down the notion that we would. I'm not closing down the notion that I would.
Well, you're assuming that the community accepts that.
Well,
and so we'll see. That's the assumption, is that they accept tabling, because tabling is not taking action.
Well, I don't want to take action tonight, but I may very well want to take action, but I want to do it when I know I'm on a strong legal footing.
All right, we're going to go backwards on the motions. So here we go. The motion, if the clerk will read the motion, Ms. Joseph, so we're sure we know what we're voting on.
Ms. Mayo moved, Ms. Dendler seconded to table the action on this item, both the LAC and minion complaints, until the board has another closed session under anticipated litigation.
Thank you. And then I will call for the vote on that motion, presuming this comes up. Okay, here we go. And the motion passes 4-1-0. So this board has chosen to table this item. And by tabling this item, we did not set a date for that to come back to the board, so that would have to be determined.
Should we set a date now?
So that's what we need to determine, because if we sit here tonight, first of all, tabling it is not an action, but if we sit here tonight and don't come up with a date for that to be reconsidered, or, to be discussed in closed session, then we would really do a disservice. So my assumption is, we can either do it, I don't know, we have to just find an attorney for this to hold another closed session. Whether we can do this on Friday in a closed session and add that to our closed session with the evaluation, what the heck, Friday night, It's good to be on the board, you just have other meetings you didn't even know. We can hold that closed session on Friday, we've already got it scheduled for a special meeting to begin at 4 p.m. And we can put that piece in at the start of that and move forward with the superintendent's evaluation. Or we can attempt to put it in on, have another special meeting just for that topic, or we can put it in on January 28th. So at this time, I would like to hear from members of the board. I can call it as president, but I'm not opting to do that. What I'm asking is, from members of this board, I'd rather do the consensus model rather than my just unilaterally determine.
Since we don't know that we can get an attorney by Friday at that time, it might be better for us to wait till the 28th to bring it back, and that gives us more time to schedule the meeting with the attorney in the closed session.
Okay, that's one proposal.
And I suggest we begin at 5 on the 28th or at 3 this Friday if the general counsel is available.
And then we'll hear from the other board members, because I don't want to do it unilaterally. I prefer you all come to a conclusion with your schedule.
I would like to see it done if we can get someone in this Friday. Because I can put it off Monday.
I agree with Ms. Oaks.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from the board, obviously you know where I stand, which is we should have done it tonight. We'll look to do something on Friday.
I hadn't picked up on that.
I'm very bland, it's hard to hear me sometimes. I'm going to opt to look at this Friday in our special meeting to expand the closed session and go to work on what it is we can do to get that lined up for this Friday. So at this time, that's where we're going to leave it. Okay? And I will get to work on that. Now, next item.